Hi everyone, C Chronicles is my name. Thank you very much for joining me today. My content is fragrance reviews, lifestyle videos, fashion videos, and a lot more. So if it sounds like something you may be interested in, you didn't come here by accident, please do consider subscribing by clicking the red subscribe button. And to my returning subscribers, thank you very much for coming back. You are appreciated. I have 5 fragrances in front of me. These are 5 designer fragrances, but they smell like niche fragrances. So I have 5 fragrances in my collection that smell like niche fragrances, 5 designer fragrances rather, that smell like niche fragrances. Okay, now getting into what a niche fragrance is. A niche fragrance or niche fragrances are fragrances made by companies that, you know, focus on exclusively on perfume making. Okay, these companies sometimes will make candles as well, or lotions as well, but their core business is just making fragrances. Okay, so the niche line actually stays closest to the idea of perfume being or perfume as an artistic expression. I'm just saying this to people that want to know what a niche fragrance is. Okay, the niche line, you know, often aim to create unique fragrances that express a certain idea, a certain emotion, or a time and place. So these are not your mainstream fragrances or your commercial fragrances. Okay. The commercial success of the niche fragrance line is not necessarily on the profit side, although the businesses are profitable. Most of the businesses of the niche fragrance businesses are actually profitable. Their fragrances are not cheap as well. The pricing is usually, you know, on the high side, but their aim or the success is, you know, for people to experience fragrances in, you know, like different fragrances that are communicative in a way that give you, or that put you in a certain, you know, kind of, like a certain idea, it's an expression, like a work of art. Okay, and now, compared to mainstream fragrances, in case you want to know as well, mainstream fragrances are our usual fragrances, say the designer fragrances, the fragrances that you'll find in, you will find these in, say, department stores. They're fragrances that you probably encountered or smelled or used before. Some of them you'd find in drug stores. You know, some of them are the cologne kind of fragrances, you know, like Brut, Talk of Brut. A lot of people have maybe not used it, but they've experienced it or they've seen. So those are like maybe the drugs, or not maybe, rather, those are the drugstore perfumes, and the main store, and then the mainstream perfumes, you know, like the designer fragrances. So enough said. Okay, let me get into the fragrances that I want to show you in my collection. These are designer fragrances that I could have sworn, if I was blindfolded, that these are niche fragrances. Okay, the first one I'm going to show you is D2 Okay, this fragrance, though affordable, you know, it came to me as a surprise. This is like a warm, spicy, sweet vanilla with some heliotrope and some ginger. Okay, it's got some florals there as well as some pink pepper. The heliotrope in here mixes so well with the vanilla, in a way that it's just beautiful. And it's this particular fragrance, you know, I wouldn't say is a crowd pleaser. It's just doing a thing on its own. It's either you love it or you hate it. You know, I don't see an in between. It's one of those fragrances that it is a vanilla done in a really different way. And, this is generally, basically what I'd say made this qualify for this. I just feel it's outstanding. It's different. It does have that artistic nature to it. So that was my number one. Okay, it's got like a marzipan in here as well, and it's got like a nuttiness as well, and a powdery feel. Okay, so definitely artistic in that way, right? The second one that I want to talk about is this one, Decadence by Marc Jacobs. This has been discontinued, and this has been discontinued as well. So I think there's a trend here which I can see, the fact that this one has been discontinued just goes on, to affirm this whole nichiness of them, whether they were not popular for that reason or something, or they were too, I don't know, I can't say expensive to make or something like that, or they were not too much of crowd pleasers. This is why I say there is some nichiness in, this one. This has been discontinued, and this one as well. Although you can still pick them up, on the market if you look, if you look around. Okay, Marc Jacobs Decadence. This is like a daring, earthy, aromatic scent. I remember unboxing this. This is one of those fragrances that will give you the unboxing experience. Okay, I felt that when I got that gorgeous, beautiful green box and all these things tied together. There was this, the tassel, the top with the tassel snuck in there, and it was so beautiful. And then, my expectations versus what I got, it was like a bit of a shock, because at the time my nose was not too, in fact, I wasn't expecting it from Marc Jacobs. Let me put it that way. I would have expected this from a niche house. This was like a really, something that I'd say he just didn't work with the norms here. This is really different. This is like your plum scent, okay? It's a powdery, ashy plum. It smells really unusual, really odd, okay? It's mysterious, but it's got that elegance to it. It's very unique. It's a fragrance I've kept in my collection because I know there's a reason why people like this. And, fragrances are there, not necessarily to, you can revisit a fragrance. You might not like it in the first sniff or a couple of months, even into the years. But, give it a chance. Fragrances have got that magical thing to it that you may actually end up liking the fragrances that you didn't like. This was definitely one I did not get at all, okay? It's a tricky one. It smells like nothing. Putting my nose to this, for the first time, it smelled like nothing I'd ever smelled before. The thing that I could just, I felt here was the plum. This really ashy, almost smoky plum, and I didn't know what to make of it. So definitely this is what qualified this particular fragrance as a designer fragrance with a niche quality within my collection. The next one I'm going to talk about is definitely one that I got, okay, on first sniff. This is Angel Muse, okay? Angel Muse is a creamy, nutty chocolate delight. This is beautiful, guys. I think the addition of the vetiver in here gives it this dry, earthy, kind of leathery smell. And that is what I love. It's got some hazelnut in here, but the hazelnut doesn't actually smell, to me, at least to my nose, I get like the hazelnut, shell smell, as opposed to the actual nut itself. Like the shells, if you were to put them like in a plastic bag, put your nose to it, this is what I get, okay? The dry down in here feels like something that would have been worn, in the medieval times. It really feels like something that was worn centuries ago. This scent that, was something that you would smell years ago. It really takes me way back into the time I wasn't even in existence, believe it or not. So yeah, that is the artisticness of this fragrance. Yeah, it does have that artistic expression to it. It just makes me travel. It's almost like deja vu. It just makes me travel to some era that I never even was, maybe I was, who knows? But I mean, that's what I get from this. And I just find it so beautiful, so different. And that's what made me pick this as one designer fragrance, of the five of the designer fragrances that I had in my collection that give me that all high moment, like really shock. They feel niche to me. So Angel Muse, right? The next one I'm going to talk about here, this is like a bit of the, it's a bit on the weird side. I didn't know whether to put it there, but then I thought, okay, I will put it there because this to me is really weird. This is Elisa Le Parfum, okay? This fragrance is a honeyed white floral, okay? The opening of this fragrance is harsh. It's got this dirty patchouli. It's dry. it's got the orange blossom, and it's got like a grown-up jasmine in it. Okay, this fragrance is one fragrance that, you know, expectations versus reality was another shock. You know, I'd gone through what people were saying about it, and I thought, no, I really do need this. It's a Francis Kurkdjian, you know, kind of creation. I must have it. And then when I got it, it was just that one fragrance that, I don't know, it's got this like a spiky thing that could be actually the departing moment with a lot of people for this fragrance. That spiky, harsh, tangy thing in there feels a bit like, not a bit, it feels exactly like bug spray. Okay, so there is a note here that's mixing with another note. Like I said, I've done reviews for this, so I'm not going to get into, you know, in depth of what and what, but there is a note in here that's mixing with this whatever, and it's bringing out this sharpness that kind of reminds you of bug spray. You know, I remember when I sprayed it for the first time, I just said to myself, I wish it stayed like, you know, this moment when I just had the honey without this piercing thing that's coming through. And it's one of those fragrances that I'm wary of wearing, you know, because I actually wear this at home more than going out, because I just dread getting a compliment of somebody saying, what is that? That smells really odd, you know? So yeah, Elisa Le Parfum, I think, has got some niche quality in it, in as much as it's a designer fragrance. Now, the last one here, but certainly not the list, is going to be Zara's Rich, Warm and Addictive. Zara's Rich, Warm and Addictive. I haven't been using this much. It's just one of those that I actually forget, okay? It's not a forgettable fragrance. When I say forget, it's because I just have a lot of fragrances within my collection. Okay, this is tobacco, coconut and honey and some wood. You know, just by sniffing here, you do get the tobacco, but there is like a boozy feel with this fragrance, you know, like a rum feel, where you really feel like you're smelling rum, you know, definitely smelling rum. So I think Zara here also, you know, just showed their artistic side. This is different, okay? This has got like a tropical or a cozy, mysterious scent. But again, like I said, it's the booziness that sets it aside or apart from being a traditional, you know, scent that smells like any designer scent. So yeah, this is what I had to say about Zara's Rich, Warm and Addictive. These are fragrances that I do recommend, you know, that the 5 I have here, I recommend, but there are fragrances that, you know, it depends. If you want to go on a blind buy, the one that I would really recommend maybe for a blind buy out of, the 5 I have here is this one, D221, and maybe this one. You know, I still find Marc Jacobs Decadence really challenging, and even Angel Muse. It's one of those that you either get or you just can't do. So yeah, those are the 5 fragrances, or the 5 designer fragrances within my collection that have a niche vibe. Okay, so I do hope you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful. Please do consider subscribing. Click that red subscribe button. Make sure it turns gray, because sometimes when you click it and it doesn't turn gray, you might think you've subscribed when you haven't. We're just making sure here. So join the family, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you have fragrances within your collection that you could sway niche quality. Okay, and do turn on post notifications so that you're notified anytime I upload a video. It's been your girl C Chronicles. I appreciate you watching, and remember guys, smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.